technology can replace a good relationship with ourselves. So anyway, here's an update. My generators stopped working. It's also that time of the year in which generators sometimes don't work. It's probably going to start working again. So what I'm doing is I'm having to actually, because we have snow or we have gray skies, I'm not getting enough sun. Even though I have 400 watts solar panels, I have 2 golf cart batteries, you know, I need to actually start up the RV. Now, fortunately, I have like 10, 15 gallons on reserve. I am snowed in, so something like that really needs to last me a month. So we're going to see how long this gas lasts me. So in a situation like this, it's like the most mindful use of technology for things that I need to do, not so much the want. So less time to be on Facebook, less time to just be like looking at news that pisses me off. More time spent reading, more time spent pondering things, walking outside, pondering the sun. Oh, sun, oh great sun, take me out of the dark ages. And I think that was really my first experience in Costilla County. Not so much sun worship, but a deep, profound connection with the sun. And then, of course, I was working on, for those that don't know, this presentation about the sun affecting our consciousness. I know, crazy things, right? Cycles of War and Peace. Something about that deep immersement in nature connected me deeper with that truth within myself. We have truth within ourselves. And sometimes when we mesmerize ourselves with these, flat screens and ooh la la, ooh la la. And I've talked about this before. And it's not just the cell phones. Even for those of us that are living in nature that don't have cell phones, the constant staring in the screen. Ooh. And I don't know what it is exactly about it. But I know that I need to stress this message in this part 2 to you. And let you know there's something about this. Something about this technology LCD screen addiction. Now, we're talking about a mindful use of technology. With my RV running right now, charging or powering that light, my studio light, I've got my Mac charging. I've got my computer charging. I've got my LED light charging, which I use for reading. I have my APC 1500 power backup charging, so I can power my internet in the middle of the night without starting my RV to upload this video, for example. What else do I have charging? That's about it. And so I'm actually getting more out of the RV running than, for example, the generator. So the generator's not working. I turn the RV. It's much more efficient. But it's going to use more gas. So I have to use it in shorter time spurts. This is like a very intentional use of technology and energy. Instead of just the RV running all day long, or someone having a desktop computer or something else in the grid or city, or having a blender or a microwave or a TV going on all day long. And so, you know, when you're in a situation like me and you go off grid, your relationship to technology changes. The energy is precious. And then your energy comes from more than one source, being that you're looking outside the grid or the utility bill. There's the sun. There's a typical generator. There are various kinds of generators. There's the RV. There's the bike generator, which I don't even have yet. Bike frame, pedal to bike. Oh yeah, that'll bring you close to energy. And so there's a lot of healing that can occur if someone wants to go off grid and do it on a intentional level. Now, let's say you're in the city and you want to reconnect. You know, so there's the benefit of going to the city park for hours and reading a book, or being in a state of meditation in the city park and having a prayer for peace, having a frequency of genuine love for everything and all living creatures, emanating outward to those and affecting those in the subway, coming and going, and doing some of these things. We talked about grounding in a previous meditation podcast. Then there's grounding things and people and areas around you, grounding out regions, grounding out parks as an experiment, creating areas of peace. Save space! No, seriously. Grounding out whole areas. There are ways that you can reclaim your own humanity in the midst of the machine itself. You don't have to be off the grid. In fact, it can be argued that you have many ways and opportunities. We'll go ahead and flip this back on here. Make sure that I have things plugged in and all that is charging. You have many opportunities to do good in the city. It's happening, that nature in the city, that spirit of the city, the spirit of the people that live in that city, that are not the Borg yet, that are not the machines, and in some cases they may be hurting, and it may be on the surface level, oh, they're hurting because they're homeless. Oh no, they're hurting because of this. Really, those are all symptoms of something else, and being homeless is a symptom of something. Maybe there's a talent that they have that wasn't able to be really brought into the machine, the Borg, the consensus reality that is today's day and age. Maybe they represented an industry that was shaved and removed from our humanity as we go deeper into technology. Now, mind you, robots replacing humans and robots in the military and robot threats in the European Union, Europe talking about kill switch, all these are trendy topics. While we talk about the technological threat to our humanity, technology replacing our humanity, there is real talk of literal robotic threat. Not just the metaphoric threat, like, oh, we're losing our humanity, we're blending with, but literal, folks, we have to get a kill switch thing figured out. Now, it's just my take on this, that the UN and Europe and other organizations are going to cover up something that they helped create. The Frankenstein, they helped create. They want to be like, oh my God, well, we tried towards the end to stop this. Oh wow, kind of late in the game for them to be talking about this, and the UN concerned about Terminator robots as China rises by design. And I've warned you, like others, that they can hack our military, our robotic military, and all this was planned by design for China to have a military technological control. Now, with regards to mind weapons, I've always warned of this. The weapons that can target cognitive process, perception, our physiology, other things, our very biology, our very moods, the whole 9 yards. And this technology does exist. So there's reasons why subconsciously people are drawn to not live in major urban cities. Some people don't know about this. They've never considered these things. They've never considered the idea of reclaiming your humanity in a world of cell phone towers that are interacting with your body's frequency and so many things that are arguably not natural and not native to this planet and not something that our ancestors evolved alongside. Something totally new. So are we set for evolution beyond this point, or are we set for mutation? Now, when you look at the cascade of disasters from Fukushima to also nuclear tests, I want to stress that. Climate change, fears and hysteria aside, tests the military has done on U.S. soil that has ended up causing deformities, yes, deformities, in the American population. This entire country is like one big giant test lab. So you have the responsibility in your hands to reclaim your humanity from the machine itself, from what's going on. And remember that technology is a sword of truth and something that can cut you. When handling technology, when handling almost free energy and fusion, one must be very, very careful. One asked me about how I feel about free energy. That people ask that a lot. I care more about people realizing that they need to stop using the energy and technology to murder innocent people around the world. There's plenty of energy to go around. They should become more aware how the elite are using technologies to kill people, and not just talk about technologies being used to control people, but literally talk about how these technologies, these drones, are hunting down Afghani people. What if those technologies were used to actually deliver food to almost, quote a Bill Hicks bit? Oh, there's an African starving. Why don't you shoot him a banana? And it's like the technologies that exist now that are hunting down people like something out of a bad sci-fi movie can be doing a lot more to help the people of the world, other than Amazon bringing drones to your, all hail the Amazon robot army of the skies. Everyone bow. This won't be a front for anything. Ah, yes, the Amazon military drones bringing you any dildo or pocket vagina or any video game, Call of Duty, just zombie apocalypse, something to shoot up with your game. How do you like that, honey? I like it. To go good with my Doritos. All hail the Amazon drone army. And not only that, remember, we talked in a previous video about this warehouse. So we talk about literal technology replacing our relationships over here. Now, we talk about the robot cops, robot replacing jobs, robot actual threats, and then we got this robot warehouse, like floating like Death Star. But it's all good. They're gonna bring you your video games and your snacks, okay, and your sex dolls. They're literally gonna drop out your future robot lovers. The robots are gonna bring robot pimps, man. This is just straight up. This is straight out of Compton. We're going somewhere interesting with this, and I do believe there is something about life continuing in this matrix if you do not evolve beyond this type of a world. You want to wake up like the Neo, this kind of thing, like, oh. I mean, I'm seriously, a lot of these people that think they're like ascending, like, whoa, we're going off planet. The aliens are saving us. We're not going to be left behind. We're not princess. Well, they are in for a rude awakening in their next lifetime here on Earth. So it's like we're going deeper into the Borg. This is about a longer period of history. Technology is replacing our humanity. Concepts like the returning sun or the king of all solar flares or the Yeddame's solar flare kill shot, yes, perceived to be disaster, massive death toll to the tune of billions at first, but another perspective, a cleansing, something natural, a reset, and relationships being restored, humanity being restored, love being restored. When we have to rely on each other and we don't have all this technology, it's like then the healing can't begin. So that's a macrocosm. A solar flare grid down situation is a macrocosm of when technology, boom, our addiction to it and our access to it is removed. Well, I mean, is the access to resources gone or energy? No, it's around us. It's within us. It is us. So I hope you say we are the ones we've been waiting for. And so that is what truth people will awaken to across this planet in such an event. That is what I believe. On the microcosm, I talk to you about something simple. It could be my computer going out. It could be a tablet or something, or my whole internet going. What do I have to do? I have to uproot myself, have a relationship with someone to the point of me putting out my thumb 2 weeks ago or before Christmas. I've got to get back in town. Let me see if I can find it here. Let me see how. Well, let's just hypothetically hold it up. I had to get a new Verizon device just so I can keep posting news to my associate's website. You know, it's like I can't stop doing that just because all of a sudden I don't have satellite internet. Well, I go to Verizon, start using that, and boom, it goes out too. So it's like, talk about the moisture inside this shed on this hill in southwest Colorado caused my electronics to have some issues, interrupting my technology. Now, I've got those two things repaired, but my generator is out. Now I'm reverting to the RV, charging the golf cart batteries. At this moment that this light's powering, charging my Mac, charging this computer, charging that, and charging that. So it's like, thank God they're not all at once, or out at once. But for just one thing to be out, like the generator, it causes a recalibration, a re-strategization. And of course, having extra batteries on an off-grid note of any kind, shape, or form, different kinds for different things, easily chargeable, easily usable, different types of inverters. Man, definitely something I'm evolved in my off-grid travels or in this ongoing off-grid adventure. But then again, and going home, full circle to what I was discussing in part 1 with the books, you know, it's like that time now opening up. Less access to the internet, the resource of gas being finite, only being able to use so much gas to charge these things. More time spent reading something, contemplating something, you know, not on the internet, you know, whatever it is. And whether it be exercise or meditation or cooking or whatever your particular interest might be, or writing a book, or being a little bit more mindful if we are on the computer with what we're doing on the computer. I found myself posting quite a bit of news early in the morning, earlier than normal, feeling just less compelled to entertain myself. And as time is going on, and without a unlimited, internet program, and like I said, plan, that satellite modem takes 90 watts, meaning it takes a fair amount of juice just to run. So it's like YouTube usage, movie consumption. Oh, Netflix. I'm not even watching Netflix at all, but I'll watch a few movies once in a while. But honestly, it's like I'm using technology in a more mindful way. I'm transmitting and receiving. Literally, I'm using the satellite to transmit and receive. And I'm being a little bit more focused as to even how much information I'm transmitting. Notice I've gone from like 10 videos a day to like 1 to 2. I'm going to start being a little bit more focused. It's like being more mindful in what I'm transmitting and receiving at the same time, regardless of what comes in. I can only do so much. I can only do so much. And there's more to my life here off the grid than doing videos and podcasts and the such. It's a part of my life. It can't be my life 100%. And I can feel that separation when I'm not looking at my YouTube comments and I'm not on Facebook. And I can also, this is just a small note for those following the Archon podcast series, notice how the haters come out of the woodwork when I'm reading those comments or sensitive in some way, shape, or form. You know, I'll notice days will pass where I check, or when I'm not in such a sensitive state, and it's like the hateful stuff isn't peaking during other periods where those hosts for the parasites are doing their troll game without even realizing that they're a host for something evil that has an obsession with me, and that their own obsession with me is highly unhealthy. So I could see the technological influence and the easy access to the YouTube comment section over the people that we would call haters and trolls. And just weird phenomena like that you want to think about, like periods in which they're more active for some reason, whether they know it or not, and periods where there's like days going by and there's like nothing from no one whatsoever, and it's just like quiet, like grasshoppers, crickets. Ironically, when I'm not looking at it, how would they know? They wouldn't, and they don't. It's all happening unconscious. So that's just more observation on the psychic penetration of many human beings that don't realize they are hosts for something that enjoys using them or tapping into them, just like Agent Smith from the movie The Matrix. Stepping back from a technological addicted society and being off-grid in of itself can provide a certain amount of very organic, unique perspective. And through the introspective act of being away from a lot of technology and consuming it, and instead being in a state of pondering and musing and praying, and also grateful every day for the most basic of things, and trying to raise our own morality and the way that we're thinking, to evolve our own thinking. It's like the more we do that, it's a positive loop. It sets forth a domino effect. The more we stay on the path, you know, they talk about trajectory. Like, oh, you're on the uphill, you know, you're moving ahead. Things are going, things are changing. The consciousness is opening up to greater and greater understandings. So I'm going to wrap things up. That's why I'm here. I want to perceive those greater understandings and give you the best strategies for defeating these structures of the mind, freeing your mind, body, and spirit, surviving physically, mentally, and spiritually, these things that we're facing, giving you a spiritual perspective on the global conspiracy, you know, and of course using my intellect to further analyze certain theories of mine, whether we're talking about the sun or the off-grid nature, spiritual connection, the real path of geopolitics and where it's going, as opposed to the lie, the movie. And I give you what I believe to be the truth, a real warning, if you will. So there's a lot to me that I'm here in nature to investigate, to go deeper into, with the intended purpose of helping many of you navigate the storm that's already here and the storms that will continue to arrive. And I'm doing it with a minimal use of technology, a mindful use of technology, but technology is required. And so in closing here, my last thought, for a lot of people, technology has replaced our relationships, not only with others, with ourselves. At the same time, technology also allows us to reach people, more people than ever before, in a way our ancestors were not. So let us continue to use technology in a mindful way, not a unmindful way, and to do it for the greater good of all, and to not let it corrupt us, and to not let the overabundance of information even frighten us from our own shadows. Oh my God. Ooh. Alex Hansberry signing off, January 14th, 2017.